What is the role of training in development? What is skill? Skill is a learned pattern of operations or responses to stimuli which allow the successful, rapid and apparently confident performance of a complex task. When do you call somebody skilled? When he is confidently performing his chosen area or the area which is being assigned in a manner which suits the expectations and brings out the best in an efficient way. So know that is knowledge about something, or propositional knowledge, awareness of ideas, theories and concepts. And when we move on to know how is knowledge of something or the ability to do something, which is practical knowledge, which is practically possible. You know how to do it in actual terms. So know how is different from know that. And what is employability? A portfolio of knowledge, skills, competencies and attributes that enhances an individual's mobility and power in the labor marketplace. No longer can an individual rest with the acquisition of a job in a particular organization. He has to concentrate on his employability so that his value in the marketplace goes up, and there is what is defined here as employability. It's a mix of knowledge, skills, competencies that enhances an individual's mobility and power in the labor market to take care of contingencies. Moving on, what are the benefits of training and development activity? It obviously increases your efficiency and productivity. The right training methods and the right practices will increase your efficiency when it comes to job performance, and also productivity goes up. Reduction in cost, wastage and errors. Now the overall cost can be reduced if you have a proper training mechanism identifying the areas which can be improved, and wastages can be avoided, and errors and the cost related to those errors can be reduced or totally avoided. Now reduction in interpersonal performance problems. Now if the problems are identified, if there are issues in interpersonal relationships when it comes to actual job delivery, training programs which are tuned to identify and correct these kind of problems will give you a huge advantage in reducing these problems in the workplace. Now one obvious result of training and development program is your improved quality of work and service, which results in improved customer satisfaction levels, fewer accidents, sensitizing your workers on the potential and the possibilities of accidents and what are the costs involved, and training them will lead to fewer accidents. Enhanced ability to attract high caliber employees. Employees are nowadays looking for organizations which can offer them training facilities with an opportunity to go forward. What is that? They can learn newly in an organization. So they prefer organizations which give them a healthy learning atmosphere, and this is an avenue wherein you can attract high caliber employees to bring them in and motivate and retain them. Now obviously it results in improved job satisfaction. Culture of continuous learning and improvement. Now as you have an effective learning and training and development program, there is a healthy culture of learning. You are a learning organization and there is improvement in all spheres of work. Compliance with legislation and regulation. You have a better understanding and you can comply with the local legislations and regulations so as to avoid any friction with the local authorities. Moving on, who are the stakeholders in human resource development? The first and foremost stakeholder is the owner or the management team involved, because they are investing money in people and they expect return on investment, so they obviously have a say and they are the most important stakeholders in the whole process. Now the line managers of trainees, who actually direct and control the trainees in day-to-day performance, because their positive or negative performance has an impact on the overall performance of the team and the manager and in terms of the organization. The trainees themselves, for their future and for their actual work execution, they need to have a say and they are the most important stakeholders in the training progress. The training managers, the instructors, coaches and mentors, how do you design programs, how effectively you develop content and deliver, what are the schedules for a particular segment or a department across the year, how do you assess the training needs? They have an important say in the whole process. Now the training vendors and the training community, who are the reputable vendors available in the market for delivering content, for designing the training programs, and how do they actually deliver it, what is that they're doing for their competitors, and how effectively you use your vendors to bring about the best training programs to motivate and train your workforce to move forward. Now let's take a look at what is learning, what is training and what is development. Learning is a process whereby people acquire knowledge capabilities and skills. Training is the use of planned systematic instruction and other learning events and programs to promote learning. So this is derived from learning. Development is the growth of people's knowledge and capabilities and the increasing fulfillment of their potential. So learning, training and development are not the same but are derived from each other. By looking at these definitions, we can understand that training is the process wherein you are emphasizing and reinforcing certain behaviors where you can promote learning. Management development is an attempt to improve managerial effectiveness through a planned and deliberate learning process. How best is your manager or the managerial category equipped to handle everyday scenarios, and what is the way forward for them? How well are they being trained? Are there any measures taken to increase their managerial effectiveness? What are the efforts that are being taken? So this encompasses managerial development. Now, what is the education and training? What are the skills required for your managers to carry on the various activities associated with a particular role? So, planned career management. What is the career available for them? What are the successful managers looking forward to? How do they move forward and up the ladder? What are the different avenues available for them? Performance management. What is the ideal behavior expected from them? What is the performance level which you can get from them? So performance management describes about the different categories, the different variety of people, the managers, and what is their performance levels. Self-managed and experiential learning. The managers need to adopt a self-learning process and also guidance and mentor-led process. So what is the guidance and mentoring that you are going to provide for these managers in the term of in-house consultation or experts to make them move forward and in the whole develop them as future managers? Now, what is a learning organization? A learning organization is one that facilitates the acquisition and sharing of knowledge and the learning of all of its members in order continuously. So there is a continuity to it. The whole organization is moving and it enables all the stakeholders to learn, to unlearn and to relearn, and strategically to transform itself in response to a rapidly changing environment and to develop and refine the capabilities required for future success. So this is an endeavor which monitors capabilities at an ongoing level. So it constantly examines where we are, what we are and how we are moving forward, so that you can learn and you can adopt measures for survival in the future. Now let's take a look at an ad wherein it says a lot about the effort that goes into a learning organization. Why do organizations need to learn, or in fact why do we need to put in efforts to learn and move forward? What is the learning culture all about? What are the characteristics of a learning culture? Now, the decision making procedures are flexible in a learning culture. Problem solving is systematic and scientific. There is no haphazard way of dealing with things. All problems are solved in a scientific and systematic manner. Experimentation, there is a lot of scope for experimentation and people can make mistakes. It's a trial and error method. No matter what happens, still there can be a lot to learn from a particular experience. So in learning organizations, the culture is that there is scope for experimentation, risk taking failures and mistakes. As I mentioned earlier, input is taken from these failures and it is put into the learning process, which is experience. Information and feedback is encouraged. Open information and supply of feedback is encouraged. There is no restriction, and knowledge dissemination happens right through the organization across the length and breadth of it. So there is no stoppage or there is no blockage in information dissemination. Now everything is open to challenge and question. Nothing is set forever. So everybody in the organization has a right to question certain set practices based on the evolving needs and the business challenges, so that it is dynamic and the organization as a whole benefits from this approach. Flexibility in decision making. So there is some room for flexibility in decision making based on everyday situations, and these are not standardized procedures. It gives you a degree of flexibility, and these are the characteristics of a learning culture. Finally, we'll take a look at the organizational learning cycle. Now, it starts with questioning what is the desired behavior and the outcomes that you need, and going on to the next step, analyzing and working with others, what is that is actually required, what is the desired behavior, and modeling, looking at the other opportunities available comparative to model which you arrived at. So compare with other opportunities. And negotiation, what are the rights and responsibilities of different stakeholders involved, and the actual implementation of these measures. Moving on to reviewing and consolidation, what is the impact of these measures implemented for the individuals and the organization as a whole, and it again goes into the cycle of questioning whether the implemented procedures give the desired outcomes. So this is a continuous cycle, and which is part of an organizational learning cycle, and this is the whole concept of learning organization and training and development. Thank you.